How's it going, YouTube? Yeah, Pat Mac here. Been a while since I put a video out on the channel. I had a lot of recording issues where my recording stuff was just like cutting out partway through games, so I wasn't putting content out because it was just not complete. Anyway, but I'm back. It seems like my recording stuff has been working lately, so hopefully it'll just stay throughout the rest of the season and I don't have to drop partway through. Well, not drop the leak, but I would just drop recording. Anyway, this is a team introduction, draft analysis sort of thing. I'm going to do a little old school. I'm going to go mon by mon, talk a little bit about why I picked them and whatnot, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just going to talk about Pokemon. Anyway, first pick, I went with Iron Hands. I think I was like third pick in the draft, which was pretty cool. But I went with Iron Hands. It's just a Pokemon I haven't used. It's obviously really good. I don't think I need to tell you about all the things that Iron Hands can do. But I'm excited to use it. Oh, I should probably say this is a doubles league for anyone who watches some of my singles content. But yeah, playing doubles with this one. So yeah, obviously Iron Hands is amazing. Fake Out's great. All the different coverage stuff that it gets. Insane stats. Like, this Pokemon just doesn't die to things and it hits like a truck. So yeah, pretty excited to pick this up. And then, I followed it up with Spectrier. Figure Spectrier would be pretty good. So this kind of splits my modes a little bit. I can go really fast, I can go really slow. Spectrier isn't amazing in a slower mode, but Iron Hands I think is completely fine if I go for a fast mode. So yeah, and then obviously High Hands will destroy the normal and dark types that Spectrier usually struggles with, so I like the Ghost along with fighting. It's not like a full core per se, but obviously it's really good. And of course Spectrier is just like super fast. I'm just not generally very good about picking fast Pokemon in drafts. I tend to pick more bulky instead, so yeah, happy to grab Spectrier here. This Pokemon I've used a handful of times. I'm really comfortable using it, and I like it quite a bit. Third mon I grabbed was Comfy here. I was looking to just have a lot of bulk. I thought Comfy was a little bit underpriced in the league too, which to be fair, there were a lot of Pokemon that felt like that. So Comfy was just another one of them. But I figured, like, if I can heal up Iron Hands with priority floral healing, like, I don't know, that seems like it's pretty good. So that was the main idea. Offers Tailwind and Trick Room for this gen, so it's got a little bit of speed control, some good priority kind of stuff going on, so happy to grab it. Next mon was Heatran. I was just looking for, like, I don't know. I think it was more about, like, I don't know what fire type or steel type I want to grab. This was a massive draft. There were so many people in this draft. There was like 24, which is a lot of people. So I was just trying to pick up Pokemon that I thought were good and that I thought could work kind of well together. Heatran's kind of nice just because it can work in faster slow modes. Like, I like that part of it. We have free Terra for this league, so I can get rid of that ground weakness if I need to, which I liked quite a bit. And then just the resistances that Fire and Steel offer is kind of insane. So yeah, I thought it was great. It's like only 3 weaknesses for, like, I don't know, every other resistance. So pretty good mon. Next I grabbed was a Lona Executor. I was just looking for like a much better Trick Room setter than Comfy. Mainly, and I went with the Lona Executor because I didn't think I'd have points to get a high tier dragon. I technically could at this point, but I liked Executor. I just thought it was fairly cheap. I didn't think it was underpriced per se. I just thought it was a good price for me. And sometimes that's all a Pokemon has to be. Yeah, I've used this Pokemon a couple of times. I'm actually using it in my Dungeons Dragonites League right now, and it's doing really well. It's a Terra Captain in that one, so a little bit different from this, but either way, it's still really good. But yeah, having Frisk with Fake Out from Hands, I think, is a really nice combination there. So I can figure out where the Covert Cloak is, fake out the Pokemon that doesn't have it, and it helps me set Trick Room a whole lot easier. It's also kind of interesting that I have 2 Trick Room setters where neither one of them is like kind of the classic Ghost Psychic typing that tend to be the Trick Room setters on these Draft League teams. So yeah, kind of cool. Happy to use it. The resistance to ground was a really big part of why I grabbed this Pokemon too. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Pretty much that. It was. I would say like the big two things were Frisk and resist ground and sets Trick Room. And I think that's really what the team wanted at the time. So I was happy to pick it up. Next mon I grabbed was Gyarados. I thought for sure this was going to get taken. This Pokemon is just so good. It's around the same speed tier as Heatran, so again can work in kind of a faster slow mode just depending on how I want to build it, which is really nice. This also technically completes a Fire Water Grass Core that I picked back to back to back, but admittedly that was not really what I was thinking about when I grabbed it. I liked that it was a ground immunity. Again, I have two pretty big weaknesses with Iron Hands and Heatran, so I fully expect people to try to bring ground types or ground coverage into my team, just where it's at so far. So I wanted the immunity for it. I'm not a huge fan of it not being able to resist ice with my 4x ice weakness from Eggy, but I mean, all in all, it's not that big a deal. There are other ways that I can kind of cover that, and honestly my team is not particularly weak to ice at the moment. It's just Eggy. But yeah, I really wanted the ground immunity, especially with how the team was shaping up so far. And obviously there's all the different stuff that Gyarados gives, like there's good supportive sets for this Pokemon. There's obviously really good offensive sets. Yeah, just can kind of do it all. And a really good Terra mon too. So I have quite a few Pokemon that use Terra pretty well. And since we're free Terra, that's pretty nice. Next mon I grabbed was Sneasel. I was looking at Weavile around this same spot too, but as you can see, the only Pokemon on my team that is fast right now is Spectrier. I technically have Comfy that's 100, but I'm gonna tell you right now, like if I'm running max speed Comfy, like there's something wrong with my team and how I've decided to build, just because like this Pokemon is priority, so it doesn't need speed. Anyway, Sneasel. I just wanted something that was faster. I like another fake out option. I've used Sneasel a handful of times. I really like the Pokemon. It just has some good options available to it. Having Inner Focus is great too, so Intimidate doesn't affect me as much. And then it's got good priority of its own. It's got a little bit of speed control. I don't really have a beat up option, and like spoiler, I don't get something that like wants beat up, but that's another kind of mode that Sneasel offers, so I'm like missing out on that side of things. But it was super cheap. I think this was the lowest tier of the draft, and I think Sneasel is just too good for that tier. So I was happy to snag it. But like I said, it gives me some tempo, it's some speed control, and like it has some reasonable offense. My team was also very specially oriented before the Gyarados pick, which was something I was thinking about around that time. So I wanted a bit more physical offense on the squad. Obviously I have Iron Hands and people are going to have to bring some physical defense for that, but I didn't want to be too overly invested in special offense. I like to have a good split, like a bit of a 50-50 from there. Anyway, next Pokemon I grabbed was Pheasantipity. And main idea here was that I just wanted something that was in between the speed tier of Sneasel and Gyarados. Like I said, Comfy is in that speed tier, but isn't really going to run speed very often, if ever. So I wanted something that was kind of in that speed tier to kind of make people respect it a little bit. So yeah, Pheasantipity was part of that idea. And then also gave me a good Tailwind setter. I don't think of Comfy as being particularly good at setting Tailwind, so I like Fez to kind of give the team that option. And then I also got another Pokemon that resisted Fairy typing, which I think at the time the only mon that did that was Heatran, and I was starting to build up a little bit of a Fairy weakness, so I just wanted that Poison typing to help out with that. Yeah, so that's why I grabbed Fez there. And then next one I grabbed was Staraptor. And this was mainly looking for a normal type, so I wanted something that was like, I mean, it's not technically that much bulkier than Sneasel. They're probably like fairly close with Eviolite, actually. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure that out off the top of my head, but like, you know, it's a normal type. It's immune to Ghost, which is nice to have. And then I like the speed. This actually gives me a second Intimidate Pokemon. And also, both those Intimidate Pokemon don't have to run Intimidate either, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that was the main thinking there. Fast Pokemon. This is another one that's like, I think it's a point faster than Pheasantipede, so another Pokemon that kind of fit in that speed tier between Sneasel and Gyarados. So something that I liked about it and wanted to use. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I've used Staraptor a handful of times now. I think it's a fairly good Pokemon. It's not like game winning in any way, but it's got some cool stuff that it does. There is also the option of Final Gambit on something, like if I like Final Gambit instead of Tailwind with Fez, or I Final Gambit and Trick Room with Eggy, stuff like that is like kind of ways to help my speed control kind of work. So I like that. Especially with Frisk, I can figure out if there's a Focus Sash, and then of course because it's Terra Preview, I'll know if there's a Ghost Terra of some kind. But yeah, so that's kind of what I was thinking along those lines for Staraptor. Next I grabbed was Sandaconda. Just need a ground type, just trying to diversify a little bit. I don't think Sandaconda's an amazing Pokemon. It was in the lowest tier, and I think it's like, I don't know, arguably better than that. I've used it a couple of times. It's not the best Pokemon, but it's bulky, so like it kind of helps with like it kind of works with Comfy to like heal it with Floral Healing. The Shed Skin sets are kind of cool. I can like kind of use it to counteract weather teams if I want to use like Sand Spit. So like there's a handful of tools it can do, but for the most part this is just a ground type to add to the team to give myself a little bit of diversity. I think at this point like there's only a couple types I'm missing. I think I'm missing like Rock Bug and Psychic, and like Psychic is really the only type that I care about having. So, or of the three I'm missing, that's the one that I care about having. And Ground I was also missing, so I guess Ground. Yeah. Anyway, Ground would be good. And then last one I grabbed was Barraskewda. This one was kind of a late pick. It's in the lowest tier, which is it's just way better than the lowest tier. So I feel really good about being able to snag it. I had like 4 or 5 Pokemon I was planning on picking before this, and they all got taken. Literally all of them. That's what you get for a 24-person draft, you know? So I grabbed Barraskewda thinking like, okay, I'm going to drop something in Grace, and I'll grab a Psychic type that way. Barraskewda isn't really going to be doing much of the Swift Swim on this team. I don't even think I have a Rain Setter. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'll probably check that while I'm like actually prepping for games and stuff. But there's just a lot of redirection around, so having Propeller Tail lets me kind of dodge that and actually deal with the threat, which I like quite a bit. And it's fast. This is actually the fastest Pokemon on my team. And also kind of similar to why I was picking up Physical Offense earlier, like I was very special oriented before, and so now I can get some more physical threats. Yeah, and actually the team at this point is probably more physical than it is special. Even Fez is like even though this Pokemon has like really bad offensive stats, it's technically has more physical offense than special. And that was the squad going into Grace. I did actually make a Grace transaction. I ended up dropping Pheasantipede, and I grabbed Galarian Slowking. Again, I was missing Psychic typing, so I wanted to grab that. I already had the Fairy from Comfy, and I had also grabbed Staraptor, which was in between that speed tier of Gyarados Sneasel that I was thinking I wanted when I grabbed Fez. So I ended up dropping it. I could have dropped Comfy too, but I really like the extra healing that Comfy gets and the priority. This team just doesn't have very much of it, so I think it'd be nice to have something along those lines. And yeah, Glow King helps me with another Trick Room setter, so I have, I would say, 2 very good Trick Room setters with Eggy and Glow King, and then kind of a third one that can kind of do the job in Comfy. I did also pick up another Tailwind setter with Staraptor that Fez was like kind of on the team to do too, so I didn't feel too bad about missing out on some like faster speed control with Tailwind. And yeah, that's the squad. I feel pretty good about it. I like the team overall. I think there's a lot of really good Pokemon on here. I think they like can synergize fairly well together. There's a lot of really good bulk on this team, so I think Comfy fits really well. I'm really happy with that pickup. and I think it'll do quite a bit for the team. So anyway, if you'd like to see some more of the content, whether or for VDL specifically, playing these doubles battles, just stick around, like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I should have week 1 coming out pretty soon after this video. I've actually already played it, but I wanted to get this video out first. So anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.